Monday Night Raw took place last night from the Performance Center, and it's been nearly a day since the show has ended. I apologize for the late review, but I finally have a chance to do it. And before I get started, I would also like to talk about the big news story that was that the state of Florida has deemed WWE an essential business. Ron DeSantis, the governor, has given WWE a pass to run shows if something happens, if a WWE roster star or a wrestler or someone on the production staff, a referee, a manager, an announcer, an interviewer backstage, someone gets the coronavirus, there's going to be massive problems. I don't begrudge the state of Florida. I think WWE is they're taking precaution the way they're handling this. It isn't necessarily just a Vince McMahon decision. I do think they are taking severe precaution, and I think the reason they wanted to go live has more to do with the fact that they can be cut from their Fox deal or the USA deal or NBC Universal, and the reason is I think they have to do 49 live shows. I think they're only allowed 3 tape shows, and they've gone over that. I think they've had 4 weeks now of non-tape shows, so maybe that's the reason. I've heard, but it is what it is, I guess. So they show a video of Drew McIntyre winning the title at WrestleMania. He does his own commentary over it. He spoke into the camera and thanked them for letting him into their living rooms. He says the internet can be a negative place, but it was positive. Don't say that, Drew. Don't drink yourself. Now they're going to turn on you, Drew. He wanted to show that he is a great champion. And then, of course, Zelina Vega interrupts him with Andrade. And we saw a lot of Zelina Vega tonight, which made this a good show. You show me Zelina Vega once, I'm happy. Twice, hey. 3 times, hey. There's nothing else you can do to have a better show than showing us Zelina Vega. She said McIntyre... I mean, she dropped her Latin accent. I don't know if she ever had one, but she would talk in a Latin accent in the past. Now she just talks like any other American chick. And she said McIntyre 2 WrestleMania moments in one night. As Drew defeated Brock Lesnar in the Big Show at WrestleMania on the same night. Not as impressive as Chris Jericho defeating both The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin to win the first undisputed title in the same night, being both in both separate matches. So I guess this can be Drew's new version of Jericho's line. He would always talk about that, but that is impressive. You have to give him that. They did book him strong. And they were both squash matches, or not squash matches. Eventually they go back and forth, and it happens in which... They set up the match when McIntyre brings up when Andrade beat him at NXT TakeOver War Games. The first show they did for War Games, I think in 2017, if I believe. Andrade won. It was a surprise when he beat McIntyre for the belt. McIntyre was hurt. He was thrown over the rope, and what he did was when he held onto the rope, he tore his bicep. I think Triple H injured his bicep. That's the same way in Saudi Arabia. A year or 2 later, but that's how McIntyre was injured, and Andrade beat him, so he wants revenge. I'm surprised they didn't show the whole match. If they want to kill time, they didn't do the flashback or the match in the past this week. I think they're going to do some on Friday, but they didn't do it this week. If they wanted to show a match to kill time, it would have been perfect to show that the NXT TakeOver match with Andrade and McIntyre, because it would have worked perfectly, because it was the main event. They had Asuka against Ruby Riott, number 1 contender qualifier match. This was a very good match. I like this a lot. I like this more than most people might. I thought they both did really well. I think Asuka is fantastic. I think that's between her and Charlotte as the best in-ring female wrestler. Maybe Io Shirai too. We haven't seen her as exposed as the other two, but Asuka, she's awesome. She's a great wrestler. Ruby's good too. Ruby's solid. They did well. There was moments where I thought, oh shit, are they going to have Ruby win? But Asuka kept kicking out. Eventually, Asuka, she took a lot of beating in the match, but you can tell she's going to win. Eventually, she gets on the Asuka lock, and Ruby taps out immediately. Charlie Caruso comes in the ring, and she looked great, by the way. And I heard the rumors that she could have been the one who had COVID-19. I'm not sure about that, but she was on Raw, because I don't. If she had it, there's no way they're going to put her on Raw for 3 or 4 months. Anyway, she tries to interview Asuka. Asuka starts yelling in Japanese, and that was the theme. They'd have Charlie Caruso and Sarah Squibber interview wrestlers, and they'd ask stupid questions. They wouldn't answer. They did that the whole night, I swear. MVP goes into the MVP lounge. He announces 3 Money in the Bank matches next week for qualifiers. Rey Mysterio against Murphy, Aleister Black against Austin Theory, and MVP himself will take on Apollo Crews. Aleister Black defeats Oney Lorcan. Not much of a match here, dominant match. Sarah Scriber gets in the ring, and Sarah looked really good tonight. I have to give that. I mean, she looked good. If she doesn't have much personality when she interviews, but hey, she is a hot blonde. Anyway, she asked Aleister Black about his game plan against Austin Theory, and he made her look so stupid. He has this quizzical look on his face, and he tells her, my game plan is to win. And he will face Theory next week, who's being managed by his wife. Maybe if Zelina Vega finally turns and she joins Aleister Black. But they did tease her on commentary. Becky Lynch promo, she clears up the confusion Shayna Baszler's experiencing. She said there was really a battle of skill versus heart, it was a battle of minds. Lynch may have seemed arrogant, overconfident, maybe that's what she wanted Baszler to think. The quicker Baszler just tried to run her path to Mania, the sillier Lynch became. Lynch said the only reason she can get close enough to Queen is to destroy her as the Joker. And she mentions Joker. I don't know, she's a queen. I thought Charlotte, but I don't know what she meant. Does that mean Shane? Oh, the Queen of Spades. Makes sense. Oh, I see. Queen of Spades. Yeah, Joker card. Huh. Maybe Shane is Batman. I'm Batman. No, that horrible Christian Bale voice. I apologize. So it sets up Becky and Shayna, probably in a rematch, I assume. Maybe at Money in the Bank. Or actually, Shayna's in Money in the Bank, so it won't be. But they'll do a rematch for sure. I don't think that feud's done. But I do think Becky's going to beat her again. I think Becky might hold on to the title until WrestleMania 37 at this point. Could be her and Ronda at 37 in LA. Becky just doesn't lose. They had Charlie Caruso try an interview with Zelina Vega and Andrade. Zelina does not like Charlie Caruso, obviously. I think it's the whole thing. Wasn't she jealous because Angel Garza likes Charlie Caruso? But there's no Angel Garza here. But it's clear she does not like Charlie Caruso. She cut a decent promo and said McIntyre does not deserve to hold on to the title. The Big Show is number 3 in the US on Netflix this week for a show which I will never watch. Shayna Baszler murders Sarah Logan quickly. This was a massive botch. They had Sarah Scriber again trying to interview Shayna Baszler, and Baszler just looked at her like, she did that to her a few weeks ago too, where she tries to interview her, she just stares her down, intimidate her. Baszler murders Sarah Logan, and this was the massive botch, probably the biggest botch of the year so far, one of the biggest. The announcer introduces Sarah Logan as the win, and the announcers are mad because the ring announcer introduced Logan. The actual commentary is fierce, like what the fuck, they're not like they're getting mad almost like this was a massive botch, it was a massive decision. You can just hear Vince McMahon through her voice. He's probably gonna, I don't know who is the ring announcer. I forget his name or her name or whoever it is. Vince is gonna murder them backstage. That's all I was thinking watching this, but massive botch. Eventually they announce Shayna Baszler is the winner and she will advance. She just stomped on Sarah Logan's arm. I think Sarah Logan looks like someone who could be released, but I think she's dating. She is actually married to Ro, I believe, of the Viking Raiders, and I think she's also has a lot of good friends, close friends, and Full Sail. She's friends with a lot of the top female talent, so I'm not sure they will, but she could be. Wouldn't surprise me. Seth Rollins stands backstage and said, at WrestleMania I lost to Kevin Owens and my career has been crucified. So hopefully this Jesus gimmick ends because it's fucking awful. I hate this stupid Jesus gimmick of Rollins. Austin Theory defeats Akira Tozawa, and Zelina Vega is on commentary, and there was a moment where someone asked her, I think it's Tom Phillips, asked Zelina Vega about Aleister Black, and she immediately shut it down. Said, you better shut up. So it was clearly they don't want to say it. But, I mean, they could do it. I mean, have her with him. She doesn't fit his gimmick, but he's not this type of gimmick where he doesn't talk or he's like, he just is. Yeah, he isn't. He's not like an Undertaker character where he don't see a human side of him with this gimmick. It's just, I suppose they could change it up and have the two of them join as a duo. So I think she can work with him. But Aleister Black is going to defeat Austin Theory next week, and maybe they do something with him and Zelina Vega. And maybe she becomes his manager. It could work. They have Tozawa. Okay, so here's the thing. Akira Tozawa did a moonsault during the match, and Jerry the King Lawler said it looked like a Roman noodle moonsault. I kind of laughed, like Roman noodle. I was thinking, so it went over my head for a minute. Oh no, it's not good. And Roman noodle is it's like a Japanese noodle. It's not too bad, but he had, I don't know, was it really that bad, Roman noodle? He's Japanese, is it okay? I think when he said that, I didn't think it was bad at all. I mean, it's his culture. He's Japanese. How is it racist? I don't know. Maybe some of you thought it's offensive, it's a slur, but I did not think so. I knew it was going to be bad, but I didn't think it was. I knew, oh shit, we're going to freak out. Twitter's going to be fired. I don't think so though. They aired a clip on Drew McIntyre Chronicle. I watched it after WrestleMania, the part 1. It aired. I watched the Chronicle. It was good. Trey Cruz interviews Rey Mysterio, says what it means to him about what it means Money in the Bank. Rollins is another stupid backstage segment. Angel Garza defeats Tehuta Miles. No Zelina Vega here because I think she was probably tired. She had much work she had to do tonight. Nia Jax squashes Kairi Sane. So this sucked. I hated it. We know Nia Jax gets privileges because she's The Rock's cousin, but I was hoping this has not much to do with the push for Nia Jax and more to do with Kairi Sane being... She's leaving. She's done 3 jobs. She got pinned by Alexa Bliss at WrestleMania on night 1. Then they had a rematch on SmackDown. She gets pinned by Nikki Cross. Now she gets killed by Nia Jax. I do think it's probably the end for Kairi Sane, and she's probably leaving to Japan. That's what I hope it is. Hopefully we don't have to sit under a Nia Jax push. Charlotte Flair promo. She did good. She cuts a decent promo. She praises Rhea. And she said she's still better, and she would like to remind NXT that... next in line is Io Shirai, and Shirai is going to learn to bow down to the Queen. There's also rumors Io Shirai is going to leave with Kairi Sane. I don't know, but I've heard Kairi for sure. It could be Io as well. Maybe Io is just using Io to have a great match with Charlotte and have her lose, and that's it for her. But I think almost for sure Charlotte beats Io Shirai. Bobby Lashley beats Naomi Jose. They're doing stuff with him and Lana having a divorce. Good job, get this out of here. This has just been a complete utter flop. Almost when did they debut together? September? It's been like 8 months. It's been awful. Stupid Seth Rollins promo again. Viking Raiders beat Ricochet and Cedric Alexander, and they go backstage with the Street Profits, and Bianca Belair is there. Trey Cruz is trying to interview them, but she hypes up the Street Profits, says they have to respect the Viking Raiders and all Vikings everywhere, and she's getting them, she's getting them prepared for the Viking Raiders. She's trying to, obviously, telling them they're a major threat, so she's getting them to take them seriously. I thought Bianca Belair was good here, and hopefully she gets to do more than just be the manager of the Street Profits. Eventually she'll get a big push, I'm sure she will. So Drew McIntyre against Andrade's the main event. Zelina Vega comes out again. She's with Angel Garza and Austin Theory. This started late at night, so this can go quick. It wasn't much of a match, another 5-minute match victory for Drew McIntyre. He defeats Andrade, he defeats the United States champion, and he is celebrating an after-match Seth Rollins music hits. And then he super kicks McIntyre and he hits the stomp, and he hits another one. It makes sense for Rollins to have beaten Owens now at WrestleMania. It did not make sense for Rollins to lose now. He should have probably beaten Owens if he's going to face McIntyre next, but Matt Rollins is the next opponent for Drew McIntyre, and they will have a match at Money in the Bank at the Performance Center. That was Raw. They're continuing to go along with it. I was hoping for a decent break. I would have liked one, but Florida is going to let WWE continue. Some people think it's Ron DeSantis. He's the Republican governor. It's because of Linda McMahon, her connection to Trump, and Vince and Trump are close. This is why. I don't think so. I think they're going to let some of the more red states are more lenient, as I think they should be. I do not want to shut everyone down. I think some people want it shut down so the economy can tank and it'll hurt Donald Trump in the election. I do believe that's one of the motivations, but Florida isn't too bad. This was New York. This is not happening because it's really bad there, but Florida isn't as bad, I assume. So I don't mind it. They're doing a lot of testing, and I'm okay with it if they continue to do shows in Florida. However, I would like a break, not just because of this virus. I would like a break from the WWE, and I'd like an off-season for at least 1 year. I think that would have been kind of cool. So actually looking forward to it. I think, you know what? Decent break for this channel. Everything will get really exciting once wrestling comes back and they get into a live arena again, but they're not doing that, so that was Raw. And unfortunately, this format is going to continue, and it'll stay here for the time being.